Oh yeah, is it Tuesday already? Okay, let's start with the bad news, shall we? What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? Okay, let's just get it done and over with. Sadly, yesterday, James Earl Jones, the legendary voice of not only countless characters outside of the Star Wars galaxy, but the greatest Star Wars character of all time, Darth Vader. Now, of course, it was a very sad day yesterday, but I feel like today we should just celebrate James Earl Jones, shall we? I feel like he wouldn't want us to be all doom and gloom, but celebrate his life. So we're going to be talking about how awesome his career was, how awesome he truly has been as the greatest character of all time, Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker. And we're going to talk about that for quite a bit. We got StarWars.com's official release, George Lucas, what he said, what Mark Hamill said. We're going to talk about all of it because we lost a legend yesterday. But we're going to celebrate his life today. We are not going to be all doom and gloom. We're going to celebrate it. Celebrate it today. So, yes, it's a sad time, but we're going to celebrate the greatness that was James Earl Jones. We also have an insane amount to get to in today's stream, as today, in about 30 minutes, I believe, Ewan McGregor is getting his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and Hayden Christensen is actually making a speech there as well. And there is a live stream, so we're going to try and put up the live stream and see if we can watch that or not. Also, some Mandalorian and Grogu news as it's still filming. We got an update from Jon Favreau himself in about 3 days. This Friday, in 3 days, there is LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, a 4-part thing. We just got a new trailer for that, actually the best trailer so far. What else we got to talk about today? Oh, Darth Revan. So yesterday there was this big thing going around of this poster of Darth Revan, a female version of Darth Revan, with Brie Larson's name on it saying coming to theaters in 2027. Obviously, it was a fake poster, but a lot of fans have been beginning to talk about, first of all, Brie Larson coming to Star Wars, but also Darth Revan coming to Star Wars and coming to the Star Wars galaxy in canon. Yes, Revan's already a canon character, but you know what I mean. A multiple season show or trilogy about Darth Revan in the Old Republic. We'll talk about all of it. We got a lot to get into today, clearly, and not a lot of time. So first things first, let's start with James Earl Jones. Let's celebrate the extraordinary career, the extraordinary life of the 93-year-old. 93 years is absolutely insane, but we got a lot to get into, so let's do it right now. First things first, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? Oh, wait, what? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Okay. Kit Fisto, what is up? Kay, how we doing? Brandon Baker in the house. Navarro, what is up? Ian, how we doing? A guy who loves Disney. Oh, nice name. How we doing? Trent, how we doing? Agnes, what is up? Jedi Geek, how we doing? Akir, if I mispronounced that, I apologize. How we doing? Zap, what is up? Amanda, how we doing? Thomas, what is up? Luna, how we doing? Did I miss anybody? Chris, what is up? IXNE, what's up? How we doing? All right, if I miss you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Darth Plague is starting off the live stream with a very generous super chat of $2 saying RIP James Earl Jones. Yes, indeed. May he rest in peace. Okay. Let's talk about it, shall we? Stanley, how we doing? Star Wars Santa in the house. What's up? All right, let's just get everybody a nice little...
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay. All right. Let's first start with the statement and the post from StarWars.com. This has a statement from George Lucas, has a statement from some other people. So let's just official statement from StarWars.com. Let's just read it, shall we? Okay. Let's put this over there. Put that over there. Put this over there. Oh, here we go. Got it. All right. James Earl Jones, 1931. That's insane. Think about all the stuff he lived through. Absolutely bonkers. 93 years old. Okay. Everyone at Lucasfilm is deeply saddened to learn of the passing away of James Earl Jones at the age of 93. For over 4 decades, the stage and screen actor lent his voice to the role of Darth Vader in the Star Wars saga. So some fans have been wondering, does this mean the end for Darth Vader? Are we never going to hear Darth Vader's voice again? No. So I believe it was last year or maybe even 2 years ago, James Earl Jones had actually given his voice and the rights to his voice to create his voice using AI and stuff like that to continue Vader forever. So this is not the last we'll be seeing of Darth Vader. Actually, his voice in, I believe, Star Wars Outlaws, I actually think in the Kenobi series as well, isn't James Earl Jones. It's an AI version of using James Earl Jones' voice, of course, but it's altering it to create the Darth Vader we know and love. So this is not the end of Darth Vader. We will be seeing more of the greatest character of all time in Star Wars, but it won't be James Earl Jones, and it actually hasn't been James Earl Jones for quite some time. So this is what Kathleen Kennedy had to say. James Earl Jones is one of the most versatile and talented actors of our time, an iconic body of work across films, stage, and television. So many people know him, of course, as the voice of Vader, but he was the voice of Mufasa in The Lion King. He's the voice of many different things in animation, but he's also an actor. He wasn't just a voice actor. He was in many different roles and on stages and in television. One more thing I was going to mention is his backstory is absolutely insane. So I've been watching a lot of just remembering James Earl Jones videos and stuff like that, and early interviews of him. And he talks about how he learned to read at the age of 4. But he never really learned to read out loud until the age of 14. So for about 10 years, he was very, very quiet as a kid for a few reasons. He had a crazy stutter. And he was kind of dyslexic, as he said. So the guy who had a crazy stutter clearly would not make a good voice actor or actor at all, becomes one of the greatest voice actors in the history of cinema. That's insanely impressive. Oh, another crazy story. Let me go like this. Another crazy story is the first time that James Earl Jones ever met Carrie Fisher was 37 years after the release of A New Hope. Think about that. So James Earl Jones is the voice of Vader. Carrie Fisher plays Princess Leia, and father and daughter didn't meet in real life until 37 years later. And the only reason they met was on the set of The Big Bang Theory. Give me a 1 into the chat if you know what The Big Bang Theory is. The Big Bang Theory is a sitcom that went on for a lot of seasons. Probably like, I don't even know, 12 seasons, something crazy like that. It was a sitcom, and James Earl Jones makes a guest star appearance. And in that guest star appearance, they actually go ding-dong ditch Carrie Fisher's house. And there's just a little interaction between the two of them, but that's the first time they ever met in real life on the set of that episode in 2014. So 37 years after the release of A New Hope, they finally met for the first time. It's absolutely crazy that they didn't meet at all. Obviously, he's just the voice of Vader, so he didn't really have to be on set, but there's a whole trilogy of movies. You don't think he came onto set at least once in the entire original trilogy? It's crazy that they never met in person until 37 years later. That's absolutely bonkers. Yeah, okay, let's keep reading. Says Kathleen Kennedy. The menacing baritone he brought into Darth Vader will forever be beloved by fans and regarded as one of the greatest villainous performances in cinema, if not the greatest. His commanding presence on screen and warm personality off screen will be greatly missed. It is funny because usually this happens, but the most evil characters on screen, like a Darth Vader or a Palpatine, are usually like the nicest actors. Like James Earl Jones, Ian McDiarmid, like these are the nicest people. Even most recently in The Acolyte, Manny Jacinto, he plays Chimere. He's snapping people's necks, cutting people's heads off. He's like one of the nicest guys. It's kind of a common thing going on here. And then we got a statement from George Lucas. And as many fans love George Lucas, it seems as though his connection with Disney and with Lucasfilm has kind of been sort of cut a little bit. He doesn't really show up to Star Wars Celebrations anymore. He doesn't really do much of those types of things, but this is great to see. They got a statement from George Lucas himself, as he says, James was an incredible actor, a most unique voice both in art and spirit, says George Lucas. For nearly half a century, he was Darth Vader, but the secret to it all was that he was a beautiful human being. He gave depth, sincerity, and meaning to all the roles, amongst the most important being a devoted husband of the late Cece and dad of Flynn James. He will be missed so much by so many, of us, friends and fans alike. So obviously, George Lucas, there you go. So they go on to talk about his sort of backstory and stuff, how he went from Star Wars: A New Hope to Doctor Strangelove, all this other stuff, which is pretty cool. But we won't dive into all this. If you want to read all that, it's a couple pages there. That's on StarWars.com. So there you go. There you have it. The statement from Kathleen Kennedy and George Lucas and Star Wars themselves. Again, cannot emphasize this enough. An extraordinary career. The voice of legendary characters, not just Darth Vader, but others as well. And it's sad to see him go, obviously. It's sad to see him go, but the greatest gift he gave us was his voice, and he allowed us to keep hearing it. He gave his rights to his voice over to Lucasfilm and Disney so that we can hear his greatest creation for the rest of time, which is awesome. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit here. We'll switch gears. Let me just take a double check on this Hollywood Walk of Fame thing. So it says, upcoming ceremony, award-winning actor Ewan McGregor will be honored at this year's 2,749th star. Oh my God, there's almost 3,000 stars on that Walk of Fame. Crazy. On Thursday. Oh, it's Thursday. I thought that was today. I take it back. I take it back, chat. I take it back. Okay, well, Thursday then. Did they postpone this? I could have sworn it was Tuesday. Okay, never mind then. Never mind. Then Thursday it is. And Ewan McGregor will be getting a star, and Hayden Christensen will be making a speech there as well. They might have postponed it. I don't know. Okay. All right, let me scroll up a little bit here. Scroll it up a little bit here. Ian says, sad that he has passed. There appear to be some... Wait. Sad that he has passed. There seems to be some beef between SWT and Star Wars... I don't know. Star Wars explained. I don't understand. Me either. Okay. Yeah. Revan is canonically a male. Yes, that is true. But in the actual Knights of the Old Republic games, you could make him a male or a female. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about Revan in just a bit. Yeah. Stanley, what's up? I'm doing good. How are you? He does not look 93 at all. I know. He looked pretty damn good for 93. That's for damn sure. Yeah. Star Wars Santa was up, says, is this where the fun begins?
This is where the fun begins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ian says, making Brie Larson Darth Revan would make The Acolyte look like a storm in a teacup. Yeah, it would definitely not be the greatest of ideas, but the good news is this is not real. And we'll talk about it. Yeah. Kay says, one of the greatest voices to ever grace our ears and a wonderful actor in person, too. Yeah. He's going to be sorely missed. He is now one with the Force. Indeed. Mark Hamill tweeted, R.I.P. Dad. Yeah, he did yesterday, but today he came out with his own sort of longer statement than that. Yeah. Yeah. Is it true about Obi-Wan Season 2? Just wondering. I have heard the rumors, and maybe. I don't know one way or another yet. We haven't heard anything from a solid source, and obviously nothing from Lucasfilm themselves yet. But Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2, I feel like is always in the realm of possibility because of Ewan McGregor. Because Ewan McGregor is kind of just always been on the bandwagon of wanting to get that done. He always says he wants to come back to do more. And when you got a guy like Ewan who wants to come back and play Obi-Wan more, it's kind of hard to say no. Because what are you going to, clearly Obi-Wan was this huge thing. Hang on one second. Clearly, Obi-Wan, the first season, was this huge thing that so many fans wanted to come see. Oh, the rematch of the century. Vader versus Obi-Wan. Who doesn't want to see that? The only problem is what could be the story for a second season. Like, they already fought. They already had their rematch. Obi-Wan is back on Tatooine where he's supposed to stay. Now he's training with Qui-Gon. Like, what is the next story after that? You know, I don't know if there's enough story for a second season. I don't know. I don't really think there... I would say right now, I don't think there is enough story for a second season of Kenobi, but I've been proven wrong before. And maybe they could prove me wrong again. Yeah. Let me just ask the chat, shall we? Let me ask the chat. Let's put up a poll. Do you want... Whoops, why is that not? Do you want... You have something I want. A Kenobi Season 2. Yes or no? Let's see it. Do you want a Season 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi? And if so, tell me in the chat, what the hell would it be about? Please. Please. Okay, let me scroll back up here. He will be the voice of Vader for years to come. Disney, with his blessing, recorded a ton of voice work, and when he could no longer do it. Yeah, so he signed sort of a thing that allows Disney to continue using Vader's voice, or using his voice to create Vader. So using AI, using the stuff that already exists. Vader said a lot of lines in Star Wars, so using that, they're able to keep Vader alive and kind of keep James's legacy alive forever. Yeah. Catherine says, Mike, he also narrated the Bible? What? That's pretty wild. He narrated the Bible? That's crazy. Yeah, the GOAT. Indeed, he is the GOAT. The Big Bang Theory was on for 12 seasons. 12 seasons. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. The James Earl Jones and Carrie Fisher guest starring on The Big Bang Theory was a classic. It is pretty cool. I watched The Big Bang Theory, not like all in order or anything. I just kind of watched it here or there. And watching that episode is pretty good. Yeah. Now, sadly, both of them are actually gone. But that's the first time they ever met. I can't wrap my head around that. They were both major roles in the Star Wars galaxy, father and daughter even, and they didn't meet ever off screen until 2014. That's insane. Okay. Star Wars Santa says, yeah, hard to imagine that they wouldn't have met at any sort of press conference or red carpet, a press event, or red carpet around the release of those movies, or not even that, like any sort of Comic-Con after for the next 30 years. They never met once. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Oh my God, Starchip66 with a very generous $10 holla. God damn. Says, celebrating James Earl Jones today. He was one of the greatest voices to ever do it. Mike, can you do an impression of the Mandalorian, Din Djarin? Yes, I can. Let me... That's tough. Okay. Let's go to YouTube. What line should I do from Din Djarin? How about when he says, you have something I want? Din Djarin, you have something I want. Here we go. The end of this second season was so damn good.
You should see this.
That's the girl from season 2.
Moff Gideon, you have something I want. You may think you have some idea what you are in possession of, but you do not. Soon, he will be back with me. He means more to me than you will ever know.
All right. First things first, how about a round of applause for The Mandalorian Season 2? I might go binge watch this after the stream. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. The writing is just extraordinary. Okay.
Moff Gideon, you have something I want.
It's kind of tough. I never thought Pedro Pascal's voice would be that difficult to recreate. Hang on.
You may think you have some idea what you are in possession of.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon.
You have something.
You have something I want. I don't even know how he talks. What the hell?
Moff Gideon. You have something I want. You may.
Moff Gideon. You have something I want. I don't know. I tried. Pedro's kind of a hard voice to do, honestly, not going to lie. But I appreciate it, Starchip66. I really, really do. That's a very, very generous super chat you got there. Very, very generous. Keeps the lights on over here. Okay. Where was I? Cole, with a very generous $2 says, thoughts on the Star Wars theory and Star Wars versus Star Wars Explained? Here late. Thoughts on that whole debacle? No. No thoughts. You know? Can't we all just get along? I don't know. The whole thing is kind of crazy. I mean, they're both great content creators. Here's the deal. They both have massive platforms. They're probably the two top tiers. I mean, Theory's got, what, 3 point whatever million subscribers. Star Wars Explained is probably not that far behind him, probably close to 1 million, something like that. They're probably the two heads of the table here. That's probably what it is. And obviously, conflict, disagreements, they draw a lot of attention, all this stuff. Honestly, my comments on it, nothing. I got nothing. I have no relation to either of them. Don't know either of them personally at all. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. I'm just doing my own thing over here, trying to stay positive. I wish the best to both of them. Yeah, that's all I got. Hopefully they keep loving Star Wars. That's all I care. That's all I care about. Okay? Okay. There you go. That's my official statement. Write it down. Put it in a video somewhere. Soul, what's up? B-Man, how we doing? How we doing? R.I.P. James Earl Jones, part of life, but still hard to take in. Oh, yeah. Kit Fisto says, Mike, there's a new trailer for Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. Yes, we're going to watch that. That's actually got me the most excited for this thing. It's 3 days away, but that did get me the most excited for this 4-part series type deal. It does look pretty cool. We'll get to it in a second. Shadow King says, James Earl Jones was a legendary actor. No other Vader voice could have competed with his. Yeah, obviously he's the iconic voice. He actually almost wasn't the voice of Vader, which is a crazy story within itself. But yeah, you can't imagine any other voice as Vader at that point. Yeah. Don't worry about it, Fearless. I appreciate it. What are you making for dinner, though? Can I have some? You know? Yeah. Cole says, people pay for those Walk of Fame stars. Things I wish I didn't know. Yeah, obviously they have to pay for the stars. I feel like some actors and actresses just should have Hollywood stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's crazy to look at the list of actors that don't, because there's some massive actors out there that just don't have their names on there, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. Zap says, Revan can be whatever Disney wants him to be, LOL. That's true, but it would not be very good. Yeah. Just get Keanu Reeves to play Revan. That's actually a big question. All right, let's switch gears over to Darth Revan for a second here. Keanu Reeves as Darth Revan. Do you still want that to happen? What do we think, chat? Yes or no? Do you still want Keanu Reeves as Darth Revan? What do we think? Yes, but he's too old. Yes. I wouldn't mind it. Flashbacks, of course. Oh, wait, what? Oh, fish sticks. Oh, fish sticks and fries. And of course you can have some, Mike. Let's go. Fish sticks and fries. Oh, fried rice. Sorry. Even still, I'll take it. Yes. No. Okay. I see a bunch of yeses in the chat. Yeah, Keanu is a dream cast for Revan. He has been the dream cast for Darth Revan for quite some time. Probably over 20 years now. He's been, or maybe not 20 years, but close to it. He's been the dream cast for Darth Revan for a long, long time. However, reality comes into play here. Keanu Reeves is how old? Let's look it up. How old is Keanu Reeves? Keanu Reeves is 60. Oh, wait, he just turned 60 the other day. Happy birthday to Keanu Reeves. Late happy birthday. Keanu, if you're watching, we know that you are. He just turned 60. So Darth Revan is a character that's going to be around for a long time. When he's introduced, finally, eventually, into the storytelling of Star Wars, he's going to be around for a long time. He's a character that's a main character in that Old Republic story. So we're going to want a younger actor to play that role for a long time. Keanu, I think, we've kind of just missed the boat. Yes, he probably could have played Revan 10, 15, 20 years ago, but now you want to tell so much story with Revan that I feel like it's better off to do somebody else. Now, with that being said, you could do it in a weird way where you have an older version of Revan and a younger version, telling two different stories at two different times. And that older version could be Keanu. And then you could find an actor that looks like a younger version of Keanu. Probably somewhere out there. Somebody has to look like the guy. So you could do that and still have Keanu Reeves play the role. There's definitely ways around it where you could still involve Keanu to please all the fans that want Keanu Reeves to play the character. But for me, I want as much Darth Revan as I could possibly get. And with Keanu, it's just not going to happen. You know? It's just not. So, if not Keanu Reeves, chat, then who? Who would you cast as Darth Revan, and why would it be Brie Larson?
Incorrect.
All right, let's talk about the giant elephant in the room, and that was this poster that went sort of viral online over the last sort of couple days. Let's talk about it, shall we? Let's talk about it. So this news article is coming from The Direct. Let's just read this. Is Brie Larson's Star Wars Revan movie real or fake? Speculation explained. Okay. Here we go. Speculation is percolating online surrounding a possible movie adaptation of Star Wars Revan featuring Brie Larson, but fans wonder if this movie is real or fake. Let's talk about it. Is Brie Larson making a Star Wars Revan movie? A poster is going viral on Facebook teasing... Wait, first of all, does anybody still use Facebook? Give me a 1 in 2 chat if you still use Facebook. I don't even think I have it downloaded on my phone. Does Facebook still exist, chat? Is Facebook still a thing? Yes? Oh, okay. Okay, calm down. Okay, it's real. Okay? Jeez. All right. So, it went viral on Facebook, teasing the release of the supposed live-action Star Wars Revan movie being released in 2027. Listing as the lead star is Captain Marvel's actress, Brie Larson. The poster includes Larson's name in the image and blah, blah. Okay, this is what the poster looks like. Let's open it up. This is the poster. Let's move it to the side here. This is the poster. 2027 on the bottom. Star Wars Revan, a Revan movie. Brie Larson as the title card because she's going to be playing Revan in a female version of the Revan character. Obviously, it's fake. I made a full-on video about it yesterday about how it is fake. But the more important thing here, well, there's two things, I guess. One is Darth Revan actually coming? And the second one is Brie Larson ever going to actually come to Star Wars? Brie Larson's been talking about coming to Star Wars for years now, and fans are very divided on this actress in particular, Brie Larson herself. They either love her or they don't, and if they don't, they really don't. And it's very similar to the Star Wars fandom itself nowadays, but Brie Larson kind of fits the mold. So she's been trying to get herself into Star Wars for quite some time. She's been Captain Marvel over at the MCU for quite some time, and the MCU, of course, is also owned by Disney. And we've seen many different actors and actresses come over from Marvel to Star Wars and vice versa. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, definitely not out of the realm of possibility, to see Brie Larson come over to Star Wars. But the role that fans really don't want to see her in is Darth Revan. Darth Revan, yes, in the Knights of the Old Republic games, you could choose which gender Revan would be, female or male, whatever you wanted. However, Revan has been introduced into Star Wars canon already, as a male too. So it's highly, highly unlikely that when Revan does come, and I'm not saying if, I'm saying when Darth Revan does come in storytelling, and whether it's a show or a movie, he will most likely be a man. So that kind of takes Brie Larson out of the equation, but it doesn't take Brie Larson out of the equation of coming over to Star Wars. So yes, this poster is fake, but what it represents, what it's talking about, a Revan movie and Brie Larson coming to Star Wars as two separate entities, actually exists. So this is fake, but there is some reality in the news. So let's talk about it. Okay, let's go back to this article. Because included with this poster, oh, hang on. You guys can't see that, can you? Included with this poster is the following caption, teasing the film's release, which is supposedly coming after 2026's The Mandalorian and Grogu. So this is obviously not true either, but it says, breaking news. Disney has announced that they are moving away from streaming shows and moving forward with more movies. The first after The Mandalorian and Grogu in 2026 will be what fans have been asking for years, a movie set in the Old Republic. Since the games allow both female and male versions of Revan, they can cast a fan favorite from the MCU, Brie Larson, as the lead role to add to the diversity of the project. So there's a few things that are really, really wrong in this paragraph. The biggest one being this movie, well, first of all, that it exists, but second of all, that it would be the first to come after The Mandalorian and Grogu. Right there, they just shot themselves in the foot, because we know that there's another movie coming in 2026, and it's most likely going to be the Rey movie. But in December of 2026, there will be a second Star Wars movie in that year. So this would not be the first movie after, because it comes out in 2027. So they're already just lying to themselves. Now, again, this is not real. Whatever this article says, it's not real. This is clearly fake. Some fan just made it to stir up madness. And it kind of worked for the most part. I mean, I made a video about it, but I was more so making a video about it to clear the air. But it worked for the most part. Fans have been kind of like, no, Brie Larson, yes, Brie Larson, definitely not as Revan, but I'd like to see Brie Larson. So my question to you, chat, my question to you as we get to this, because will Brie Larson join Star Wars is a completely different question than will she be Darth Revan. So my question to you is, do you want Brie Larson to come to Star Wars? Yes or no? I'm actually going to put this up in a poll. Let's put it in a poll, shall we? Let's put it in a poll. And if you say yes, if you do want Brie Larson to come to Star Wars, who will she play? Who would you want Brie to play? Now, usually I'm really, really bad at these casting things. I'm not good at making an actor or an actress into a Star Wars character. I'm just not good at it. It's not a talent of mine. I'm a man of many talents, and that's not one of them. But, and I can't take credit for this at all because it was people in the comment sections of yesterday's video, there have been some really good casts. Really good ones. But let's put up this poll. Do you think Brie, or do you want, we'll put it that way. Do you want Brie Larson in Star Wars? Yes or no? Yes or no? So I'm seeing a bunch of people say it in the chat right now, and that is Avar Kriss. So if you don't know who Avar Kriss is, she is one of the main Jedi of the High Republic novels. So the High Republic novels have been released in 2020 or 2021. Not too sure. But there's been 3 phases. We're in the middle of phase 3 right now. That have been released for these High Republic novels. And Avar Kriss was one of the main characters, if not the main character, really, of the first phase. She's also in the second phase, or not the second phase, the third phase. But she is one of the main characters, and she's blonde, and she looks kind of like Brie Larson, if we're being honest. So I think that would be a great cast for her. But I've seen some other ones, too, that are pretty good. Officer Murdoch, what's up? Okay. Let me scroll back up here. Actually, wait, no. Let's finish reading this article, and then I'll get to your chats, okay? So will Brie Larson join Star Wars? The Captain Marvel star's history with the potential Star Wars casting is a long one. This is not the first time we've talked about Brie Larson coming to Star Wars. It's not. It's just the most recent one. In fact, Brie Larson herself revealed that she auditioned for a Star Wars role back in an interview in 2020. Having gone for a part in 2018's Solo, a Star Wars story, before missing out. So she auditioned for Solo, a Star Wars story. We don't know for what role, but she could have been Kira. The role, what's the actress who plays Kira's name? She's from Game of Thrones. What's the actress's name? I always blank on this girl's name, and I can't, for the life of me, figure out why. But the girl who plays Kira could have been Brie Larson. Now, honestly, I think it was the better... Emilia Clarke. Thank you. Yes, Emilia Clarke. She did a great job as Kira. I would not want to recast her, but Brie Larson probably auditioned for the same role. So she's auditioned for a role in Star Wars before. She's on the radar of Lucasfilm. She works for Disney over at Marvel. So it's not that unlikely. Yeah. Obi-Wan? Oh my God. Okay. Larson is amongst the biggest Star Wars fans in the game, especially for someone yet to be cast in a project. In an interview with Mace Windu's star Samuel L. Jackson in 2019 for Captain Marvel, she shared her desire to play a Jedi while reminiscing on holding Jackson's old lightsaber. It's so cool. I wish I was a Jedi. I got to hold his lightsaber paws. He brought to me on the set on May the 4th, and I cried. It was so cool. I want to be a Jedi. She wants to be a Jedi. She wants to be a Jedi really badly. So where could she be a Jedi in Star Wars, chat? Well, there's a little movie being created right now by James Mangold titled Dawn of the Jedi. And Dawn of the Jedi is the first ever Jedi 25,000 years before anything. It's the first people who sort of became the Jedi. She could play a role in that. Honestly, I want Keanu Reeves to play a role in that too. But she could be one of the first Jedi who established the Jedi Order. What do we think about that? What do we think about that? Thomas says she could be a dark side Force user in the Rey movie. That's also a possibility, for sure. That's a possibility. In 2022, she posted a picture on her Instagram account with her in what she described to be space buns, inciting speculation that she had been cast for a Star Wars role. So back in 2020, if you guys remember this, 2 years ago, the first sort of rumors of her being in Star Wars came about. And it came about because she posted online her in her space buns, and I believe in like a Star Wars t-shirt or something. And fans started to run wild with the fact that she might be in Star Wars because she's talked about it so much, wanting to be in Star Wars. Yeah. It goes even further than that, though. She posted on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, her standing next to a C-3PO model while donning a Jedi robes and a lightsaber. I believe this might have just been for maybe not even Halloween. Maybe she's just doing it for fun. But if Larson has her way, it won't be long until she and Lucasfilm finally work out an exciting role for her to play in the expanding Star Wars universe. What that role could be is anybody's guess, although she remains hopeful that it will happen sooner rather than later. So it seems like because of just the situation that she's in, working as Captain Marvel over at Marvel, she has the connections with Disney to come over to Star Wars very, very easily. I think they're probably just looking for the right role for her. And from the looks of it, Darth Revan is not that role. He's definitely not that role. But there are an infinite amount of roles that she could play in Star Wars. Maybe she's in the Rey movie. Maybe she's in the Dawn of the Jedi movie. Maybe she's in a Disney Plus show. We really have no idea. We do not. Okay. Definitely not answering that one, Dead Mike. Kay says, let them have their beef. I won't get involved. Yeah, me neither. Okay. Where was I? I don't think George Lucas has a star. Really? George Lucas doesn't have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? That's insanity. Okay. Hate grifting has become a new way to make money. Yeah, a lot of money. And a lot of people do it, which is sad. And it hurts us the most as Star Wars fans. Like, we don't want to see any of this stuff. Like, who cares? We love Star Wars. We're here to celebrate Star Wars. Just because some people are making a quick buck off of it, it's sad. Okay. Rebuild the Galaxy comes out on Friday the 13th. Coincidence? I think not. Oh, I didn't even think of that. This Friday's Friday the 13th. That's crazy. Huh. The more you know. The more you know. It doesn't matter. Revan is wearing a mask, Mike. Oh, you're saying with Keanu Reeves? Interesting. But then what's the point of having Keanu even be under the mask? Just because? Just to be the voice, maybe? Interesting. Interesting. Darth Revan series, yes, please. Okay, let's talk about Darth Revan in the Old Republic. We just got finished talking about James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie, which will take us 25,000 years before anything. Now, The Mandalorian is clearly the most important thing to Lucasfilm right now. We're getting Ahsoka, we got Ahsoka, we got Book of Boba Fett, we got The Mandalorian, we're getting Skeleton Crew, we're getting Ahsoka Season 2, we're getting The Mandalorian and Grogu movie, we're getting a Dave Filoni Mando movie. There's a lot of stuff, the majority of stuff, happening in the Mandoverse time period in the Star Wars timeline. So this giant gap between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy is still being filled out. The gap between the prequels and the originals has kind of been pretty filled. I mean, from the Bad Batch 3 seasons to Kenobi to Jedi Survivor to Jedi Fallen Order to 4 seasons of Rebels to 2 seasons of Andor, Rogue One, Solo. There's a lot of content in that little 2019-ish year time period. The time period between the originals and the sequels is bigger. It's about 8 years, something like that. It's a little bit bigger, but it's not nearly as filled out as what we just mentioned. So it seems like the Mandalorian time period is what they're focusing on, filling in that time period to not only make great content, but to make the sequels look better from afar. And once that's done, once this Mando possibly trilogy is over, in this time period in between the originals and the sequels is filled in, the Skywalker saga is pretty much complete. Almost every single weekend has been had a story told about it. So it's now a question of where do they move next after the sequel trilogy with the Rey movie and beyond, before it with the Acolyte or the High Republic or the Old Republic. Those are really the only options, before or after. And they're sitting on a absolute gold mine known as the Old Republic with endless stories and characters that already exist. One of the biggest ones, of course, being Darth Revan. So it seems to me that the Old Republic might be coming a lot sooner than we once anticipated. Because the Mandalorian and Grogu movie comes out in 2026. That means the next movie, which is Dave Filoni's, will probably come out in 2028. And if it's a trilogy, the last one will come out in 2030. By that time, there will be no other Star Wars content coming out. So 2030 sounds like a million years away. It's only 6. But with that being said, by that time, the shows themselves, they won't be on Ahsoka Season 5. They won't be on The Mandalorian Season 8. They won't be on Skeleton Crew Season 4. They won't be on The Book of Boba Fett Season 4. They won't. That whole time period will be filled in. So we'll have to move somewhere else. So I predict that by the year 2027, if not 2028, we will finally, for the first time officially, be introduced to the Old Republic. I don't know how, whether it's a show, whether it's a movie, whether it's an animated series, I don't know. But it will happen. Now, Dawn of the Jedi is before the Old Republic. Technically, it's the beginning of the Old Republic, but the Old Republic is a very long time period. It's the longest, I believe, in the Star Wars galaxy. Thousands and thousands of years. Well, the High Republic era is only 1,000 years, or maybe only 500 years. And the Skywalker saga is split up by so many small little sections. So the Old Republic is this massive time period of thousands and thousands and thousands of years with an unlimited amount of story to be told. So I think within the next 3 to 4 years, we will finally tap into that. Hopefully with Darth Revan, but if not, with any of those characters that already exist. Revan would probably be the best move, though, because he's the most known of those characters. But what do we think, Chad? Do you think we will ever see the Old Republic in live action? Or do you think it's coming a lot sooner than we once anticipated? And while you're at it, can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Bum-ba. I'm just like, you go to bed, you dream. You dream about greatness. And that dream is a Revan show. It's a Revan movie. It's a Revan trilogy. Okay? It's like, it's not like anything else. It's really not like anything else. Lucasfilm, Disney has owned Lucasfilm for 12 years now. They're just sitting, patiently waiting on this untapped gold mine known as the Old Republic. And it's just waiting patiently until they finally open up the mine again and start digging. Because it's going to be incredible. No matter what they do, it's going to be incredible. Whether it's a Revan story or anybody else in that time period, it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait. I absolutely cannot wait. Okay. Brie Larson as Avar Kriss in the High Republic movie would be awesome. I don't know if they're going to make any High Republic movies or shows, though. I feel like they're just going to keep those stories in the book form. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Zap says, Exhibit A. What? Exhibit A, Ki-Adi-Mundi's birthday. Why they could probably change his gender. I don't know either way who they would cast for Revan. It just needs to be a good actor. I did not follow that except for the last part. Andy K says, it looks very similar. It looks very aimed at inciting anger. They chose that actress who was cast in a expected male role before. The whole reason they dislike her is casting, not just fake, made to incite. Oh yeah, it's definitely clearly that poster's made to incite the Star Wars fandom to start fighting again. That's clearly what's going on. But it doesn't change the fact that Brie Larson is most likely on her way to the Star Wars galaxy in some sort of role. And the Old Republic at some point has to come into play here. Star Wars fans have been begging for it for decades, and at some point it has to come into play. Yeah. Like the Star Wars fandom needs more to argue about, LOL. That is true. That is true. Yeah. Dr. Necro says, I don't care too much for Brie. She could play a secondary character if she does, none of the main cast. I think she's just such a big-time actress in Hollywood right now. If she's coming over to Star Wars, she's coming over as a main character. Yeah. What about Abeloth? Oh my God. Could Brie Larson play Abeloth? That would be kind of crazy because Abeloth is going to have a creepy look to her. I don't think Brie Larson really has that creepy look to her, but who knows what makeup could do. If she put on some like visual effects makeup and stuff to look like Abeloth, that would be kind of crazy. That would be crazy. Toby says, sure, I want Kenobi Season 2 so that they can make Kenobi look dumb and stupid again. Well, that doesn't sound like you're being honest there. Sounds like that might have been a little bit of sarcasm, if you ask me. But that's my thing is where's their story for Kenobi Season 2? Where is there a story? You know? Oh, just go down to the bottom. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Damn it. I lost where we were. Oh, wait, I think I found it. I think I found it. I guess not. Oh, don't think they're touching the High Republic for a while. Certainly not in live action, at least. I don't know. Because they're sitting, again, the High Republic is another untapped gold mine that they're just sitting on. Because they just created all these books, characters, ships, droids, stories that are just there for the taking right now in the High Republic. You can read all the novels, you can read all the comics. But most normie fans only come here for the shows and the movies. Not a lot of Star Wars fans, unless you're really hardcore, are reading the novels or reading the comics and doing all that extra work, so to speak. So I would love them to do High Republic stuff in live action. It would be great. Even if it's just a show. Like, it doesn't have to be a movie. But even if it's just a show, it'd be great. Let me just see where we're at. Give me a 1 into the chat if you want to see High Republic stuff, just High Republic stories in live action. Give me a 2 if you're like, no thanks, let's go somewhere else. 1 is yes, High Republic. 2 is no. Let's see it, chat. Where are we at on the High Republic? Brandon says, bring on Revan. I agree with that. I agree with that. Make her Jabba the Hutt's girlfriend. Oh, my. Oh, my. If anything, she's at least smart for trying to secure a future job, LOL. Well, this is not the first time we've seen something like this happen before. Brie Larson, she obviously didn't make this poster, but she is the one who's inciting the Star Wars fans to make this stuff, because she's the one who's saying that she wants to come to Star Wars so bad. So yes, this poster is fake, but you know what else was fake at the time? Was the fan-made poster of Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano. So not saying that this is the same thing here, but fans casted Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano. So it's just as easy for fans to cast any other actor or actress in Hollywood as any other Star Wars character. It's the same thing with Keanu Reeves. Fans have casted Keanu Reeves as Darth Revan before. It didn't work out the way that we wanted it to, because Revan wasn't as prominent as a character, I guess. He wasn't coming in as a live-action character. Ahsoka was. Ahsoka had plans to come in, or Dave Filoni had plans to bring Ahsoka into live action, and it just so happened to be the perfect timing that fans casted Rosario online as Ahsoka with that fan-made art, and Dave Filoni saw it and went, oh crap, she might be a great live-action Ahsoka, and that's how this works. So fans can cast certain actors and actresses as certain characters in Star Wars. We've seen it before. Maybe the fan who created this poster was trying to do something like that. Maybe they're a fan of Brie Larson and want her to actually be Darth Revan. I have heard some people say that that's not a bad idea. I think it's a horrible idea because you're just making fans more angry at that point. I think Brie Larson can come over to Star Wars, and I hope she does. But if you're going to make her an iconic character like Darth Revan, who most fans know and see as a male character, you're probably going to anger a lot of fans. So I think it's best to not do that. But with that being said, there's a possibility that this was actually a Star Wars fan trying to get Brie Larson to play Darth Revan. So, yeah. Star Wars fans can cast people. They can. And I actually think something similar is going on right now with Balon Skoll. Balon Skoll was, of course, played by Ray Stevenson in the first season of Ahsoka. Ray sadly passed away before season 1 of Ahsoka was even released. But now season 2 of Ahsoka is going to involve Ray Stevenson. Involve Balon Skoll. And Ray's no longer there to, of course, give a performance for season 2. So they're going to have to recast the character. And I actually think what Star Wars fans are talking about when it comes to recasting Balon Skoll is going into the equation when Lucasfilm is looking for a new actor to play Balon Skoll. So when I say who should be recast as Balon Skoll, and we talk about Gerard Butler and Russell Crowe and Liev Schreiber and all these different actors, Disney's seeing that. They're seeing who fans want to be the next Balon Skoll, and they're taking that into account when they cast him. So if Gerard Butler or Liev Schreiber or whomever ends up being the new Balon Skoll, it'll be like fans casted him in a way because fans wanted that to be the next Balon Skoll. Disney listened, Lucasfilm listened, and they gave us Balon Skoll as Liev Schreiber or Gerard Butler or whomever. So fans, Star Wars fans, and this has been proven very recently, have power. They do. They have power over what content we receive, who we get to see in Star Wars. We have that power. And the most recent example of that is the cancellation of The Acolyte. Now, that's a more negative connotation to it, but the Star Wars fandom did that. That show got canceled because of the Star Wars fans. So Star Wars fandom still has a lot of power to it. We hold the cards. So if we wanted Brie Larson to be in Star Wars, I'm sure we could get it done. If we want a Darth Revan show or movie, I'm sure we could get it done. Yeah. Dr. Necro says, Revan only wore a mask as a Dark Lord, not while he was being redeemed. That's true. Again, that's why you want to cast it as a younger actor, because Revan's going to be around forever. If once they go to the Old Republic, he's going to be around for so long, decades of storytelling with that character. Hopefully. Yeah. Absolutely. Lobos, sorry, he's responding to somebody else. I always say this, but all I want is a Legends animated series with a Thrawn trilogy and the NJO, New Jedi Order. Oh, Luke's New Jedi Order you're talking about? A Legends series of that? Well, why not a canon one? Because the Thrawn trilogy, Heir to the Empire, is most likely being adapted into canon right now. So you might just be getting what you want. Lobo says, I strongly believe that we will never get a Knights of the Old Republic series or movie of any sort. I could not disagree with you more. Could not disagree with you more. I mean, never is the craziest statement ever. Maybe it's not next year. Maybe it's not in 2 years. But maybe it's in 4. Maybe it's in 5. Maybe it's in 10. Maybe it's in 30. Maybe it's in 100. But never as crazy. 2132. Darth Revan. Coming to a theater near you. Yeah. They already got the template for Revan and Bachelor, though. Then again, the template was already there when they did Reylo. Well, I love Reylo, but I know others don't. Well, that's the thing. You're never going to please everybody. The sequel trilogy is a little bit different than that, but you're never going to please everybody when it comes to anything Star Wars. There's people who hate The Mandalorian. There's people who hate the original trilogy. There's people who hate the prequel trilogy. It's all over the place because there's so many Star Wars fans. You're never going to please everybody. So many people are Star Wars fans, and all those people have differing opinions. Think about it like this. You guys all eat food, right? You guys heard of this thing called food? We all have different likes and dislikes when it comes to food. Maybe you love seafood. Maybe you hate seafood. Maybe you're allergic to peanut butter. Maybe you're not allergic to peanut butter. Maybe you love pineapple on pizza. Maybe you don't. These are just some examples of different humans and how they like different things. The same can be applied to Star Wars. People like certain things in Star Wars. People dislike certain things in Star Wars, but everybody has a differing opinion. Everybody. I like Revenge of the Sith the most. It's my favorite Star Wars project, period, end of sentence. But that's not going to be the case for everybody. Not at all. Not at all. So it's just such a vast Star Wars fandom that so many people have so many different opinions that not everybody's going to like everything that's created. So when you're creating something like the Old Republic, you got to go in with the fact that you're not going to please everybody. You're just not. Even if you recreate the exact story that's played out in the Knights of the Old Republic video games, you are not going to please everybody. Someone's going to complain. And the same's going to happen with everything they release. From the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, to the Rey movie, to the Dawn of the Jedi movie, to every other project that comes out for the rest of time. You can't try to please everybody, but you can try to create a great story. That's all. That's all you can ask. Yeah. Mr. Simpson says, possible Revans. Robert Pattinson. Ooh, that's a good one. I like that. Michael Fassbender. He's good. He might not be terrible. I like Pattinson better, though. Christian Bale. He's another one who's a little bit on the older side. Kit Harington. Ooh, I like that. Jon Snow. Ooh, I like that a lot. Kit Harington as Darth Revan. I like that. Bill Skarsgård. I don't even know who that is. Bill Skarsgård? What? Bill Skarsgård? I know Stellan Skarsgård. Oh, Bill Skarsgård. I do know this guy. What do I know this guy from? Oh, he plays the clown in It. That's funny. Okay. No, he's way too creepy. No, thank you. Henry Cavill. I don't see Henry Cavill being a good Revan. I don't know. I just don't see it. E-Shadow, what's up? John David Washington. Can't recall the name. John David Washington. Yeah, I mean, he's only 40. That'll be a good one. Tenet, that's where I knew it from. I actually never saw Tenet. I know, right? Never saw it. It's actually probably the only Christopher Nolan movie I have never seen. Came out kind of around the time of like early pandemic, and I just didn't see it, I guess. I don't know. I've heard it's really confusing. That's all I know. Nestor says, hey, just tuning in. Did Lucasfilm tease a Revan in live action? Lucasfilm themselves did not, no. But Star Wars fans themselves have been talking quite about it online due to this fake poster that was released of Brie Larson as Darth Revan, which clearly is not real, but it has started a conversation online of when are we going to see Darth Revan? When are we going to see Darth Revan? Yeah. I thought you were going to say that you dream about good cups following orders. Oh yeah, that's usually every night. But some nights, when it's a good dream, like a really good dream, I dream about Darth Revan. But, you know, good cups following orders are still in that dream. It's just like with Revan there. Yeah. Bane, yeah, well, eventually you get to Darth Bane. Darth Bane would kind of be the end of the story, though, because he's the end of the whole Old Republic because he starts the rule of two. Yeah. Yeah. Lobo says, it's okay, Mike. You can skip my comments. What? Oh, I usually just skip the comments when you guys are talking to each other in the chat. Sorry about that. Fans are a big reason that George Lucas sold Star Wars in the first place. Plus, he put everything that he had into the franchise, and he was just tired. Oh yeah, George Lucas selling Star Wars was bound to happen. The guy didn't want to make Star Wars until he was 90. He wanted to retire, and that's what he did. You know? Damien says, High Republic may be easier for Disney to source stories from. They had a hand in releasing all of that IP. They have to go through the LucasArts and others for the Old Republic stuff. That's true, but they own all of that. Yes, they have to go through like maybe some loops and whatever to get to the Old Republic, but they already own it. And it's something that fans would really want to see, so they'd make it back on the back end. All that extra work would be worth it in the long run. But yeah, High Republic would probably be easier because they created it themselves. Yeah. Indeed. Ian says, you can only tell Revan stories in a movie trilogy or a Game of Thrones or Rings of Power style series. So yeah, I mean, a series or a movie, that's kind of what it's all about. I would rather it be a trilogy. If we're going to the Old Republic, I want to see trilogies and shows kind of all at the same time. So you have a movie, a show in between, and then another movie, show in between, another movie, like that. Maybe so it's in order more so than like the Skywalker saga was. Yeah. Fearless says, The Acolyte is still not officially canceled by Lucasfilm or Disney. True. For those of you still holding out hope, it's true. But it doesn't look good. Lobo says, wanting and getting are different things. That's true. That is very true. That is very true. But I want and I will be getting both. Yeah. Except it's not. There won't be Mara Jade or Jason or Jaina or Anakin Solo or Ben Skywalker or the Yuuzhan Vong. Yeah, it's obviously going to be a canon adaptation, so it's going to be a very different looking story with different characters. But instead of characters like Mara Jade, Jason, you're going to have your Shin Hatis, your Balon Skolls, your Ezra Bridgers, your Sabine Wrens. They're not better or worse or the same. Some aspects are, some aspects aren't, but they're the canon versions. Ahsoka Tano is not in that trilogy, but she'll probably be in the Mando trilogy, in the Heir to the Empire canon version. So it's kind of just switching out certain things. It won't be the same, obviously, but it will be involving certain similar characters. Don't take Mara Jade out of the equation. Okay? Okay. Mara Jade is still a possibility, I think. And I really hope we do see her. Yeah. Imagine Luke Skywalker got married to Mara Jade and then they had a kid together, but Luke didn't know it or something. Or maybe he did know it and just thought that they both died. But they survived. And then in the post-sequel world, you got a young Luke Skywalker kid. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. The Acolyte is not getting renewed. That ship has sailed. Try again in 5 years. I wouldn't say 5 years. I'd say more like 5 months. But yes, it is not looking good. Yeah. The saddest story ever. I'm allergic to maple syrup. Oh, that's devastating. Maple syrup is so bomb. I kind of feel bad for saying that. You don't know what you're missing. Oh my God, it's so good. No, I'm kidding. It's not that crazy. It's not that crazy. Okay? It's just like one of the greatest things in the freaking planet. Maple syrup? God. Yeah. Kay says, different strokes, different folks. That's why, wait, what? Oh, different. Oh, I was trying to figure out what the hell you were talking about. You're talking about what I was talking about, which is all fans having different sort of views on different things and different opinions on all different things. Yeah, that's definitely true. Different strokes, different folks. So yeah, why you got to make up your own mind when it comes to all this stuff, for sure. Indeed. I would love 3 animated Star Wars shows about the Sith Wars and Darth Bane. Darth Bane has to get his own trilogy. That's for damn sure. I mean, the trilogy that he has in books is extraordinary. And of course, it sets up the rule of 2 and all that. But again, you can just take that stuff that's already there, bring it into canon. Don't even have to alter anything, really. But you could alter stuff if you want and create an incredible story that already exists. It's guaranteed billions of dollars in the box office. Guaranteed. Maybe not guaranteed, but guaranteed. You know? The guy who played Eddie from Stranger Things as Revan. Oh, yeah, the guy who's going to be playing Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four. I like it and I don't. I feel like he's too... Maybe. I don't know. For some reason, whenever I think of Revan, I just think of Keanu Reeves, and that kid doesn't look anything like Keanu Reeves. I know. I just kind of went back on everything I just said about Keanu, didn't I? I think if Revan was to exist, it would always be Keanu to play him. Or I thought if Keanu was to exist, it would always be Keanu to play him. They want to change him to a woman now? No. That's just, of course, a fake thing to try and get people riled up. But the realness about it is that Brie Larson is probably coming to Star Wars, and Revan's coming at some point. Yeah. Notice that I never said they should, but rather I want. That's true. Wants and dreams. Yeah. I could see Michael Fassbender playing Revan. I mean, I could maybe see it. How old is Fassbender nowadays? Yeah. I still think if Ben Solo accidentally killed Mara Jade by accident in training using the dark side, that would have been a reason for Luke to be compelled to kill him. That would be incredible. So there's a few things that would really, really help the sequel trilogy. One of which being explaining why Luke Skywalker went into hiding better. Because just him having a bad dream about his nephew and then trying to kill his nephew, I don't think is enough for me or a lot of other Star Wars fans. If that were the case, if his wife, Mara Jade, were to come into canon and actually exist, and accidentally or on purpose, Ben Solo were to use the dark side to kill her, that would be insane. Not only that, there's many different ways that they could go about it by explaining why Luke goes into hiding better. Just lead up to it more. Give it more of a meaning. But there's so many other things that would help the sequel trilogy as well, like seeing Ben Solo's fall to the dark side, explaining that more, Snoke rising to power, Palpatine pulling the strings behind the scenes the entire time because it doesn't feel like he was in the sequel trilogy. There's just a few things that would really, really help, and all that would come from a Luke Skywalker Jedi Temple show, whether it's animated or live action. All that would come and help drastically. Yeah. Not as good as boysenberry syrup. I don't even know what that is. I'm looking it up. Boysenberry syrup. What the heck is this? Is it good, chat? Do I have to get some now? Boysenberry syrup. Naturally flavored. What the hell's a boysenberry? Is this like some berry that's been hidden from me my entire life? It just looks like a raspberry or a black raspberry. What the fuck? Boysenberry pie? What is this? What is going on? What? Mike has clearly, sadly, never been to IHOP. I've been to IHOP. Maybe only like once or twice. But I've been to IHOP. Why, they got boysenberry syrup at IHOP? I've only been to IHOP probably once or twice. Yeah. The more you know. Chris says, I'm highly allergic to peanuts and peanut butter. Makes me sick just saying the words. Oh, well, then don't say the words. But peanut butter, oh my God. Peanut butter is so bomb. It's so bomb. Peanut butter and jelly? I'm just messing with you. Okay. Improving the motive behind why Luke did what he did to Ben would certainly help. I agree with that. Fearless says, Mike, did I miss something? What trilogy are you talking about? There's only the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, the Rey movie, and the Dawn of the Jedi movie. No. Well, yes and no. Those three movies, yes, they do exist, but there's also a second Mando movie, which is Dave Filoni's Mando movie. And as we know in Star Wars, that's not how things work around here. That's not how things work around here. Star Wars works in trilogies, and Star Wars works in trilogies, and 2 Mando movies wouldn't make any sense. So I think there's definitely a third one on the way. It will be a Mando trilogy. I've been saying this for years now, but I'm hoping that it comes true. But now more than ever, it seems like it will come true because the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is likely to be just the first of 3. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. A boysenberry is a mix between a raspberry and a black raspberry. They're longer black raspberries and more red. They make good pies, bro. Interesting. The more you know. Waffle House doesn't exist on the West Coast? Yeah, Waffle House is mostly just like a southern East Coast type thing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this now, shall we? Let's switch off of the Darth Revan stuff and let's talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, shall we? So this is coming from the dork side. Hilarious. But this is Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, but mostly just Jon Favreau, talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, giving us an update on where they're at and talking about whether or not you have to watch the first 3 seasons of The Mandalorian to understand what's going on. So let's read this, shall we? Jon Favreau is excited to finally bring Grogu to the big screen. The Mandalorian and Grogu, written and directed by Dave Filoni, is the next Star Wars film to hit theaters. Let's move this over. Like that. Okay. Star Wars on the big screen started out with the Skywalker sagas films, such as A New Hope and The Force Awakens, and then expanded to spin-off tales such as Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and Solo, A Star Wars Story. Well, fans have 11 live-action film. Wait, what? Is this not 12? No, 11. I'm wrong. Pardon me. It is 11. 12 would. It says live action. It says live action. 12 would be the Clone Wars movie. My fault. Okay. While fans have 11 live action films in total to watch on Disney Plus, there is much anticipation as to what will be the next live action Star Wars movie to hit the cinemas: The Mandalorian and Grogu. In a Twitter post from Scott Sanders from the Disney Cruise Line blog that features an interview clip with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, Favreau talks about what fans can expect from The Mandalorian and Grogu. Then follow up to the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, of which there are 3 seasons of. There will be the first big screen appearance for every kid's favorite Baby Yoda. Ugh.
Incorrect.
Baby Grogu. Yes. Aptly named Grogu. The cub to Din Djarin's wolf, who recently helped to reclaim Mandalore in the series third season. Director Jon Favreau is enthusiastic about the opportunity to tell a brand new story on the big screen with these established characters from The Mandalorian, explaining that, quote unquote, well, let's just watch this so we don't get it spoiled here. Oops.
To have worked with
It's just a 40-second thing here.
to have worked with these characters.
Why is it so quiet? Speak up, John. Hang on. I'll turn up the volume over here.
Also, the people behind to have worked with these characters, and also the people behind the scenes as well. You know, and to come back together and to have the scale and scope of the big screen to tell the story with characters that people already know, in a brand new adventure that can, part of what we're setting out to do is to have something that rewards people who've been with the show since the beginning, been with Star Wars since the beginning. But also, since we're on the big screen, it's an opportunity to reach out with a new adventure to a whole new audience of, and certainly with Grogu, all the kids know who that is, and this is an opportunity to bring them into the theater and show them who this character is and what he's about.
So clearly, they know that they have a gold mine with the character of Grogu. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There's been 3 seasons of The Mandalorian. It's coming to the movie theaters now. Grogu is a gold mine. And that's pretty much what he talks about this entire interview. But he does mention that this will, of course, this movie will be geared more towards the fans who watched the first 3 seasons of Star Wars and of The Mandalorian and have been with Star Wars from the beginning. It will reward those fans. So very similar to like The Mandalorian Season 3 or even 2 or even 1 that has all these sort of Easter eggs, for lack of a better word, of like R5, the droid that had a bad motivator in A New Hope, coming back and playing a main role, helping Din Djarin and Grogu reclaim Mandalore. Like little things like that, or Anakin's pod racer being used by Cobb Vanth to jet across the dunes of Tatooine. Like all these crazy little details that if you've been a Star Wars fan since day one, you will recognize and realize that that's freaking awesome. The Mandalorian's always been really, really good at that. And that's going to continue with this Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And that's great to hear because usually when it comes to a new Star Wars project, they don't always integrate it like that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. The Mandalorian's really good at it, and I'm hoping that it will continue on the big screen. But this is great news. You could see that he was just holding back all the words he wanted to say. That entire interview, he was breaking up all of his sentences, talking like he wanted to tell us more, wanted to give us some sort of plot. We don't know anything about this Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Nothing. There's no plot. There's no nothing. All we know is that we saw this teaser trailer a few weeks ago, and that it's about Mando and Grogu. We don't know if Thrawn's going to be involved. We don't know if Luke's going to be involved. We don't know if Ahsoka's going to be involved. We don't know anything about this movie. Nothing. Which is exciting and annoying at the same time. But that's the update from Jon Favreau. A whole lot of nothing, but at the same time, kind of hype. Yeah. So that's the update on The Mandalorian and Grogu. It is still filming, but it's not going to be done filming probably till November. And it seems like they're keeping everything a hush-hush secret because we haven't gotten any sort of set photos leaked out there or any plot leaked out. The only thing we know is that Sigourney, what is it? Sigourney Weaver, whatever the hell her name is, she will be on the cast, and that's it. We know that Pedro Pascal will play Din Djarin, and Sigourney Weaver will be in the movie. That's it. Which is crazy when you think about it. The next Star Wars movie we know nothing about. Absolutely nothing. But with that being said, there is something from Star Wars coming out in 3 days. And that is Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. This is a 4-part series that will be hopefully released at not 3 in the morning. I just thought of that shit. It's probably going to be released at 3 in the morning, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe we'll do a watch party. Maybe we won't. But there's a new trailer for it today. And this trailer is pretty wild. So this is sort of just the what if series for Star Wars. this Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy is a what-if series for Star Wars. We've seen Darth Jar Jar. We've seen Vader in the all-white suit. We've seen a all-black Millennium Falcon. We've seen Ewok bounty hunters. We've seen a bajillion different things. So many what-if scenarios. We've seen the prison escape from Andor with Yoda, Anakin, Grievous all working together to escape there. Like, there's some weird stuff going on. But this trailer actually gives us some even weirder stuff going on in this Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy show. So let's take a look at it, shall we? This trailer is just weird. Pretty much just weird. But let's watch it. So it starts off with Palpatine, who's a Jedi. Why is this all so quiet?
A path for Jedi.
Hang on. I'm going to see this is on YouTube. Because it's very quiet. For some reason. Oh, it is on YouTube. Okay. Ahaha. Alright, cool. This came out an hour ago, so let's take a look at it.
Clear a path for Jedi Bob and Sig. Do it.
We need to punch a hole through the blockade. Take out that calamari destroyer.
What are you doing, Sig? Stop playing around and focus.
All squadrons, clear a path.
I'm in a little trouble here.
Jedi Bob and Sig aren't going to make it.
Don't be so sure.
So that's it. It's only a minute long, but there's a lot in that, so we're going to break it down. But it's a four-piece special event available on September 13th, which is in 3 days. But let's talk about this. First of all, a lot of actors are coming back to voice the characters. Ahmed Best is voicing Darth Jar Jar. Mark Hamill is voicing Luke Skywalker. I don't know if Ian McDiarmid's going to be the voice of Palpatine. I don't know if our boy Sam Witwer is voicing Maul or not. What's this? This is coming out in 3 days. This is the What If series for Star Wars titled Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. But, of course, like we just mentioned, it starts with a Palpatine Jedi.
Clear a path for Jedi Bob and Sig. Do it.
Doesn't sound like Ian, I don't think. But he does say do it, of course. We get Count Dooku, and it looks like... What is his body? Oh, you guys can't really see it. Like, what is he wearing? It looks like a character we're supposed to recognize. Maybe a bounty hunter? He's clearly not Count Dooku. He's somebody else. Probably a good guy. Hang on, let's go back. That's the best look we got of it. It looks like a bounty hunter of sorts, but I don't really know. But he's probably going to be a good guy too. So it's what if in Star Wars. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Do a watch party? All right, we'll do a watch party. All right, fine. You convince me. Cad Bane, and it looks like he's wearing Jedi robes too. So Cad freaking Bane as a Jedi. What the hell? So these clones under the helmet are actually, we saw from a previous trailer, they're the, what's the hell's the species name? They're the Admiral Akbar species. What the calamari, the calamari, right? Why does that sound wrong? It sounds like a food. Calamari is a food. But that can't be right. Mon calamari. Yes, thank you. That's who's under this mask. It's not our good old Jango Fett clone.
We need to punch a hole through the blockade. Take out that calamari destroyer.
Calamari, there you go. This is Princess Leia, of course. Seems like her role hasn't changed much. She seems to be still same old, same old. Actually, that's her ship right there. There you go. This is our main character of Sig in this series. He is voiced by the kid from Stranger Things. Blanking on the actor's name. What the hell's his name? Whatever. But this is our main character in this story, and he's helping out Jedi Bob.
What are you doing, Six?
Jedi Bob.
Stop playing around and focus!
All squadrons, clear a path.
I'm in a little trouble here.
Jedi Bob and Sig aren't.
This is Darth Maul dressed as Lando Calrissian. Or similar to Lando Calrissian. He's got the same sort of yellow shirt on. He's got a cape on. What is going on here? Who went on the craziest trip to create this show? Like, this is some of the craziest what ifs I've ever seen. Like, usually when it comes to Star Wars what ifs, they're pretty simple. These are all over the place. You got a Lando Darth Maul, a Jedi Palpatine, a Jedi Cad Bane, Jedi Bob fighting against the Mon Calamari clones? What? What the hell's going on here? Okay, let's keep going.
Going to make it.
Don't be so sure.
There's Jabba the Hutt right behind him. That's Jabba. Right there. On the side of the screen. It looks like he's got red Sith eyes or something. Maybe that's just his eyes. In a world where Luke Skywalker, Darth Maul / Lando Calrissian, and Jabba the Hutt are working together. What? Then we don't know who saves them. Based off this ship, I don't really know either. Could be Anakin. Something like that. I don't know. The whole cliffhanger here is that we don't know who saves them.
Jedi Bob and Sig aren't going to make it.
Don't be so sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of looked like a Naboo cruiser, but it was yellow instead of the gold, silver. I don't know, but that comes out in 3 days. So if you want to see Darth Jar Jar, Jedi Palpatine, Lando Darth Maul, Cad Bane Jedi, like if you want to see all these crazy what ifs in Star Wars, this will come out in 3 days on Friday the 13th. Just figured out that it was Friday the 13th. Yeah, that's happening on Friday. That's the last sort of non-live action thing for the year for Star Wars, I think, right? Because Skeleton Crew is on December 3rd, and that's about it. That'll bring us to the new year. That's crazy. Yeah. Ow. Okay. Empire Films, what's up? What's up? Brandon says, hey chat, do you think the Star Wars fandom needs to have a truce and not to say anything bad since James Earl Jones, Darth Vader's voice, has passed? I have seen that, people saying that online, like, let's just get a few days of just stop the fighting just for James Earl Jones. I mean, the fighting never usually occurs, or I try to stay out of it as much as possible over here. So hopefully, I mean, yeah, I think we could all agree with that. Let's just stop the fighting for a couple days at least, or forever. How about that? For forever? That'd be nice too, but it's probably unlikely. Not bloody likely. Darth Raccoon, what's up, says, can we have Luke and Leia? Wait, we have Luke and Leia, but what about Han and Chewie? What are you talking about? In this Lego Star Wars thing? Oh, I got you. Because Luke and Leia are in it. I'm guessing we're going to see everybody. Sorry. We're going to see everybody. Not just Luke and Leia, but everybody. So I'm guessing Lando, Han, Chewie, they'll all be in it. Yeah. Oh, I just realized this poll is still up. Let me end this poll and let's put up a new one. Let's put up a new one. Are you excited for Rebuild the Galaxy? Are you excited for Rebuild the Galaxy? All right, tell me in the chat yes or no. And actually, right now in the chat, tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for Rebuild the Galaxy? I just want to know where the chat is at on this. And by the way, 52% of you guys do want Brie Larson to come into Star Wars. Well, 47% of you don't. The math is not mathing, but that's actually very close. And actually kind of what I anticipated here. Negative 10, 10, 9, 9. Looks fun. Nice. 100%. Wow. The Lego movie is going to be the sickest thing ever. It's going to be so much fun. Well, I don't know about that. 100, I want to laugh. There you go. It's just going to be fun. It's not like it's going to change anything in Star Wars. It's just going to be a fun sort of adventure, you know? It's not going to be like the greatest thing to ever happen, but it might just be funny. It might just give us some funny what-ifs like Darth Jar Jar, like fans have been asking for so long. And who knows? Maybe we'll have some fun for once in this so serious Star Wars fandom we live in. You know? Yeah, no? Stamp Robert says, I really love it. I really love it. Think this will be the thing that will be fun to watch with my son and bring him first healing after just as the other Lego series did after the sequels. First healing after I don't know what that means. Oh, the Acolyte you're saying? Oh, okay. Dr. Necro says the fandom isn't fighting, it's on YouTube. Well, yes, the content creators are currently fighting, or some of them I should say, but people are constantly fighting online, like in comment sections on YouTube, but not only YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, which clearly still exists somehow, on TikTok, like it's still going on, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I want Chewie to be like Scooby-Doo in Legos. Nervous and goofy Wookiee would be fun. Like Scooby-Doo in Legos. Should he start going, ruh-roh, Han? Hopefully not. I started on episode 1, Escape from Castle Wolfenstein. What are you talking about? What the what? People need to really unclench their potatoes. Wait, the patooties? What? What is going on right now? Mike Fort, what's up? SWE is currently losing. Several thousand unsubscribed? Wow, Jesus. That's crazy. Excited? No? Interested? Yes. There you go. Mike, it's a good game series? Never even heard of it. I've never even heard of it. Yeah, me too, Brent. Me too. Okay, so we went over that, we went over that, we went over that. Is there something else I wanted to get to? All right, let's switch gears back to Kenobi Season 2, shall we? For Kenobi Season 2, there has been one story that did pique my interest, and that was the Darth Krayt story. If you guys don't remember this, Darth Krayt started off as a Jedi who survived Order 66, he actually left the Order, but he was a Tusken Raider Jedi. So he happens upon Obi-Wan, so Obi-Wan doesn't have to leave Tatooine. He happens upon Obi-Wan being that he is a Tusken Raider. So the Tusken Raiders exist on Tatooine in the sand dunes, and Obi-Wan could possibly hear that there is a Tusken Raider Jedi or a Tusken Raider with a lightsaber, and he has to go investigate it. Maybe we get this awesome, cool fight sequence between Obi-Wan and Darth Krayt. Just, he's not Darth Krayt at the time. But this happens in comics. This fight already exists in canon Star Wars. Actually, is it Legends or canon? Might be Legends. Actually, let's look it up. Let's look it up. Obi-Wan versus Krayt. Obi-Wan versus Darth Krayt. Comic. Let's see. Yeah, so this, is it canon though? Is it canon? Let's put canon, question mark. The duel between Obi-Wan and a Shard Het. Yes, that was what his name was before Darth Krayt. Appears in Star Wars Legacy comic canon. So is that a no? Either way, this fight does happen. This is Obi-Wan versus Darth Krayt, but formerly known as a Shard Het, and then he becomes Darth Krayt. So pretty much, Obi-Wan fights him in the desert. He loses, Krayt that is, and he gets sort of banished from the planet because the people don't respect him anymore. So he leaves. He actually goes off to a planet where he learns the ways of the Sith, and then years and years later, he comes back as a Sith Lord. This is actually after the events of the sequel trilogy. So if they were to do this, it would not only give us a story for Season 2 of Kenobi, by giving us a Tusken Raider Jedi, or former Jedi, to fight against Obi-Wan, but it would also give us a future bad guy in Darth Krayt to possibly be the villain of the Rey movie, which would connect the Rey movie to a possible Kenobi Season 2. So if there was any story that could be told for Kenobi Season 2, this is it. Because you can't have Obi-Wan fight Vader again. You just can't have it. So this would be the only one. In my personal opinion, the only one I would know about, because they could write a new story, which could be pretty good. But again, it can't really involve Vader too much because Vader can't know where Obi-Wan is. And Obi-Wan's not supposed to leave the planet again. So this would be the only real story. You could tell some story about maybe Vader trying to hunt down Obi-Wan and maybe he's unsuccessful, but that wouldn't really get us very far. But I mean, this would be awesome. This would be quite cool. Yeah. So if there were to be an Obi-Wan Season 2, what would you want to see happen in that second season? Yeah. Lobo says, Kenobi Season 2 needs to end with a deleted scene from A New Hope at Tashi's station with Luke and Biggs. That would be pretty cool. If Kenobi Season 2 was just like multiple years, so it didn't have to be one sort of time period story like Season 1 was. It was just episodes were just each important event that happens to Kenobi over the course of leading up to A New Hope. That'd be pretty interesting. And it ends with that deleted scene from A New Hope. That'd be cool. Anyone seen the Freemaker Adventures? I believe I've seen some of them. Are those the on Disney Plus, the Lego ones? I think I have. Yeah. Yeah. Fandom is too broad a word to encompass the entire fan base. Better to be specific than broad. I mean, the Star Wars fandom, fan base, it's kind of the same thing. We're talking about the same thing. Yeah, no? A Tusken Raider Jedi? Yes, Tusken Raider Jedi. He exists. I just don't see how they can make an entire series of that, though. Yeah, that would be tough. I mean, you could maybe, like, lead up to it maybe it's only, again, 6 episodes. The first episode introduces you to Crate and how he's maybe killing some moisture farmers or something with the other Tusken Raiders with a lightsaber. Word starts to get around in episode 2 to Kenobi, and he's still doing that. Episode 3, maybe they have their first interaction, and then the finale comes, and that's when they have their final big battle in episode 6. But on the Kenobi side of things, you could actually get to see him train to learn how to become a Force ghost. Think about how cool it was seeing Yoda go on that adventure in the Clone Wars. Seeing him go to different planets, going to meet the wills of the Force, seeing a Force ghost of Qui-Gon or hearing the Force ghost of Qui-Gon. Obviously, Kenobi can't really leave Tatooine, so it'd be a little less extravagant as what Yoda did in the Clone Wars, but it would be pretty cool to see Obi-Wan learn to become a Force ghost, while also seeing a Tusken Raider Jedi slicing and dicing moisture farmers. You know? Because then Obi-Wan would have to protect Luke, Owen, and Beru from the evil Tusken Raiders. Yeah. And like Mike Fort. Sorry, Mike. Mike Fort says, I'm sure he didn't just sit in a cave for 20 years. Yeah, I mean, it would probably be only like 10 more years, 9-ish more years until A New Hope. But yeah, I'm sure he didn't just sit in one forever. Yeah. Brent says, give them what they want in its fan service. Don't give them what they want and they complain anyway. That's true. I mean, Anakin was fan service, Luke was fan service, the Kenobi show was all just fan service. But anything that isn't it is just not what they want. Can't please everybody. Like I said earlier, you can't please everybody. Kay says, it's kind of obvious that he kept his distance, though. Owen still doesn't like him by the time of A New Hope. That's true, but that doesn't mean he can't protect them from the evil Tusken Raiders. Maybe Owen just doesn't know about it, you know? Yeah, I know. Episode 16 was fan service, but it was so good fan service. But here's the thing. What is fan service? Luke showing up at the end of Mando Season 2 to save the day, is that fan service? Because it's technically the story that we're being told. Grogu goes and sits on the Seeing Stone to call out to a Jedi to come find him because Ahsoka can't train him. He calls out to Luke. Luke just happens to show up when they need him most, and he comes in and saves the day. Is that fan service, or is that just great storytelling? You know? Fan service almost just sounds like a complaint at this point. There are instances of fan service, for sure. In Star Wars, I'm blanking on any. I don't know. Anybody got any examples of fan service in Star Wars? I don't know. Brent says, Mike, what you and some other content creators are doing for the Star Wars fandom is very commendable. I am very thankful for you. Wow, thank you. Some would label you as a shill, but name calling never gets anyone anywhere too far. Yeah, I mean, me just being a nice, positive guy makes me a shill. I'm perfectly fine with that. But I appreciate it. I really, really do. That's very generous and very nice of you. Yeah. Fearless says, just like they complained about Darth Plagueis, they wanted him in live action for years. Yeah. I mean, we've been waiting for Darth Plagueis in live action since 2005, so 19 years. And then he shows up and all we can do is complain. But hey, what are you going to do? Princess Leia in the gold bikini was fan service? I don't know about that. I don't know if fans were asking for that. I was not alive at the time, but I can't imagine. Deadpool. Okay, that's a good example. Deadpool was a lot of fan service. Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Although these characters are there in the void, spoiler alert for Deadpool, I guess it's been, 3 months? They go to the void and there's a lot of familiar faces. We'll just put it that way without being too specific. Familiar faces from the Fox universe. And yeah, you could definitely say that's fan service because those characters don't necessarily need to be there. They do help with the story itself, but it is kind of fan service, yeah. Fan service doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's not usually a bad thing. It's usually a great thing. Yeah. To be honest, I already thought that Leia's slave outfit was cringeworthy when I was 5. Well, there you go. There you go. Soundwave Chronicle says, Shill is the polar opposite of hater at this point. The internet will try to polarize you one way or the other. But the reality is, we Star Wars fans, we are fans of Star Wars who want the best for it and enjoy what we can. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think, it's very little people that exist on either side of the extreme. A shill or a hater, there's very little portion of people in either one of those sections. The majority of the Star Wars fandom, the millions upon millions upon millions of people, exist right in the middle somewhere. They either love it so much and they don't dislike anything, or they hate everything that happens. But I guess that would be a hater. They hate most of it and like some aspects of it that would be more so in the middle. Yeah, absolutely. I think the conversation around the Star Wars fandom has been so sort of focused on those both sides of extremes, when that's not the reality of the situation here. The majority of Star Wars fans are right smack in the middle. For some reason, everybody just likes to either hate or call somebody a shill. Yeah. Have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine? Yes, Deadpool and Wolverine's extremely good. Everything is from a certain point of view, absolutely. And that's from everybody's personal point of view. So there might be some people out there that absolutely love me, and there might be some people out there that absolutely hate me. For one reason or another, it just doesn't affect me at all. Yeah, no? Yeah, no? All right, let's end this poll. By the way, wow, 71% of you are excited for this Lego Star Wars thing. I'm actually more surprised by that than I thought. Yes, the trailer looks cool. I mean, it's a lot of fun stuff, like a Lando, Darth Maul and stuff, but what are you going to do? You dislike the Grogu, Zen, and Dust Bunnies thing? I remember when that came out and people were like, oh, it's Star Wars and, what's the studio there? The big Studio Ghibli? Ghibli? Is it Ghibli or Ghibli? Chat. I remember when that came out and people were like, oh, a crossover between Star Wars and Studio Ghibli. This is crazy. And it was just Grogu walking around with some dust bunnies. Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. Yeah. Funny. All right, let's see what else is going on here. We got anything else going on? Oh, there was a Luke Skywalker comic coming out talking about Luke and Ben Solo. That was pretty interesting. I guess we have to wait 2 more days till the Ewan McGregor star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. We talked about that. We talked about that. I think we hit everything today. Oh, one more thing. We are about to hit 80,000 subscribers. Absolutely insane. I don't know how it's possible, but we are almost there. We'll either hit it today or tomorrow or maybe even Thursday. But at some point over the next couple days, we will be hitting 80,000. And I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate like fucking crazy, okay? So I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to. So if you're not in the Discord yet, go join the Discord in the description below, called The People Who Love Star Wars. It's completely free. Go join that Discord. And we'll celebrate there together. Okay? Okay. All right, I'm going to get on out of here. You guys are the absolute best. Huge shout-outs to Starship66 for the very generous $10. God damn. Cole for the very generous super chat, and Darth Plagueis Lives for the very generous super chat. I'm very glad that we got to celebrate James Earl Jones today, and of course talk Star Wars. I mean, what's a better way to celebrate him than talk about the greatest franchise of all time that he is, of course, a key ingredient to creating. With that being said, You guys are the absolute best. Absolute best. Benny says, I'll take Brie Larson as Mara Jade, in my opinion. Hang on. Before we get on out of here, we got to talk about this. Brie Larson as Mara Jade? Mara Jade, I mean, in Legends and in my head, has always been a redhead. Brie Larson, of course, isn't. Now, she could dye her hair. Let's look it up. Brie Larson, red hair. She could dye her hair. Oh, she had red hair at one point? What the heck? Okay, maybe she could. Maybe she could be Mara Jade. Interesting. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Oh, crap. Does this mean I have to go back to work now? Yes, Mike. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay. All right, I'm going to get out of here for real this time. Smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not yet. What the hell? Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face. I'll show up the recommended feed of yours. Smash a freaking like on the stream. How many likes do we have? How many likes do we have? How many likes do we have? Okay, that's a pretty good amount of likes. I appreciate you so much more than you will ever know. You guys are the absolute best. And may the force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate every last one of you so much more than you will ever know. Hopefully, sometime soon, we'll be seeing Darth Revan in the Old Republic in Star Wars canon. But until then, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Brie Larson coming to Star Wars? Maybe. And of course, rest in peace to the GOAT himself, James Earl Jones, the greatest voice of all time. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Great rest of your lives. And good night, everybody.